Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can apply with those emotes. If you are not a subscriber, you can use other people's emotes or just say hi or choose to just be a lurker and not chat at all. That's another option for you if you so desire. Tonight we are working on the Gundam GP01, which is from, this kit is from the year 2000. Lasberg's here. Hello, Lasberg. It is a 22-year-old model kit. Ghost Valve's here. What's up, Ghost Valve? Hello. Lord Crashton's here saying, hey, Pat, hello to you. Welcome. I'm looking forward to working on this kit. We started a little bit on, what do you call it? Saturday, the last stream. We just got it started and I was screwing up a little bit. I had a bad head cold and I was on a lot of cold medicine, I should say, on Saturday, and I was out of sorts. So yeah, working on this old kit. I don't quite have a topic for this evening. You know, sometimes I think about what I want to talk about and maybe look up something or just kind of brainstorm. And today I just came up empty. There's one thing I know I want to talk about. And that's kind of it. And other than that, I really don't know. I don't have a bunch of plans. I think we're just going to wing it. Second hour. It is Manga Monday. The day where, the stream, Monday night, where I talk about manga, because for now anyway, I have so much anime to talk about that I don't talk about it every stream. But Monday is the light evening. I only have 2 anime to talk about and only 1 new show. So we'll talk about some anime, but we're also going to talk about a couple of manga. I have 2 manga to talk about. So tonight is Manga Monday. But also other stuff is going to come up in conversation. I assume we'll chat about other things. If chat has some things that they want to get off their chest, we talk about that. The usual, I guess. We'll talk about this model kit. Here's the thing. I know there's 2 things I want to talk about. Harold's here. What's up, Harold? Happy to have you here. Hopefully my building surface is going to look okay, because I just noticed that my new keyboard it's been leaving some black marks. I assume that is the rubber. So that sucks, but I guess I'll show you this keyboard that I've been using. Yeah, I think maybe the rubber stoppers have been causing an issue, but we'll look at this keyboard here and then we'll get into building. First, I'm going to reply to my own tweet, see if we can get a few more people to come hang out with us tonight. That'll be nice. And then, how about mangoes? Any thoughts about mangoes? Harold just jumping in, giving me a topic of conversation. Do I have mango thoughts? I don't particularly enjoy them, but I also don't particularly enjoy a lot of tropical fruits. Yeah, I'm a berry guy. I guess I like more berries than I like fruits in general, other than maybe apples. But yeah, I'm much more citrus. I can take or leave. Yeah. I think I'm more of a berry boy, just personally. So, going from mango to mango. Oh, I get that. It's not Mango Monday. That's that was bad. It's not Mango Monday. I said Mongo. This is also not the night where we talk about Mongo McMichaels, former professional footballer turned professional wrestler. We are not talking about one of the worst additions to the Four Horsemen, Mongo. And also a terrible ring announcer. Not ring announcer. Terrible in commentary. Yeah, doing wrestling commentary. Not good. Is this a Jeff Beckler approved keyboard? Oh, I'm certainly not. This keyboard came with my computer, the computer that I purchased earlier this year. It is the Hermes E1C. That symbol is not a T. It's just some symbol, because I thought it was the Thermes, but no, it's not a T. It's the Hermes E1C. This thing did have a bunch of nonsense lights that thankfully I have figured out how to turn off. I honestly can't remember how to turn them back on. It's not Mongo night. I don't remember how to turn it back on, but it has underlighting for the keys or whatevs. So like these are like fun little lights that can show up. It makes a good clacking noise, which I appreciate. Kind of looks like the Tesla logo from here. Yeah, it's a little Tesla logo. But yeah, if I go over here to a text document, it's got a good clacker, good noise. I don't mind it. I like it so far. But I am noticing that if I push it instead of lifting it, that the soles in the bottom here, the rubber here, are leaving a little bit of a mark on the table, and that's not great. Anyway, this thing's fine. It's not awesome. I do want to say, you can't see it probably in here, but the num light is so bright. The key that letting me know that the num lock is on there. Oh yeah, you can kind of see that. Is so bright that it makes it look like the caps lock is lit, but it's not. There's no way you're gonna see, but basically, yeah. It's so bright and they're not shielded from one another, and that is bad. Anyway, my old keyboard finally just started being real weird, and so now I have this keyboard. I've had one of my keyboard rubber feet wear off at this point. Yeah, I could see that happening with this as well. I'm just gonna have to keep lifting it up when I move it, which is annoying, and I don't love, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, let's work on this model kit here. I guess we'll get into this some model kitting. We did these here. We got some of the arms done, and we're getting a shoulder worked on here, and then we will continue the build by getting out B19 and B18. Yeah, so I got, like I said, I'm starting to use this keyboard. I saved it. I'm so glad. I had to Google it because the software that it wanted me to download isn't. This fucking sucks about the Hermes. The software is for all of their products, and it's not. It has nothing to do with anything. There's no manuals in it. You can't change anything with it via USB. The software is just ads for their other products. And then some of the, if you click on some of the things, it's supposed to open up in your web browser, and a couple of them go to 404 pages, which is just like, oh no. This keyboard was included in the pre-built, but also, oh, this is garbage. So I got myself a garbage keyboard, and I look forward to it breaking any day now. And I've only been using it for a day. This is day 2 of me using this keyboard, so I imagine this thing will fall apart. The fact that I could turn off the cavalcade of terrible light rainbow effect LED is so great, because I might want it backlit, but I don't need it to be cycling through a bunch of different colors. Right now, I'm happy that it's not backlit at all. I don't need it. I don't need it to be. Oh, I missed a piece there. It's totally okay that it isn't. All right, so here's the thing I did want to talk about tonight. Also, should point that out, we are currently at 45 subscribers. I would love to, 45 subscribers. I would love to hit 50 subscribers at some point. If we don't, it's okay, but I would like that. So that is our current subscriber goal. It'd be great. At least keyboards aren't a huge expense unless you got the backlar sickness. Yeah. Look, would it be interesting content for me to build a keyboard on stream? I don't know. I mean, it's a thing I could build on stream, so I certainly have thought of it. I've considered it, but I don't. It's like a lot of information for me to learn. It's like so much deep diving that I'm not super prepared to do. Or really interested in doing, and 2, the end result is not something that I'm like super like jazzed about. So, it could be fun to like talk through the process, show the caps I bought, show the frame, go through the decisions of it. That could be a fun stream, but it's not something I have a passion for. It would probably go better than the puzzle. It would go way better than the Animal Crossing puzzle. You're right. I'm not convinced that I won't do a puzzle again in my life, but it will be a better quality puzzle because that apparently that company does not make puzzles that people enjoy. Like, so I think I would have to get something that was maybe less like nerdy, like, but was of decent quality. And I think that might be something that maybe people would get behind at that point more. Or at the very least, because I think y'all were very kind to me as I was struggling with that project. But at the end of the day, I hated it and quit. And it's the only thing I've ever quit. I mean, I built model kits that I despise the process of building, but I finished them. It's the only thing I've never finished on stream. It's fun to say, oh, well, have you ever given up on a project or a kit? Like, well, I tried to put together an Animal Crossing puzzle, the jigsaw puzzle, and it sucked. And eventually, just decided I didn't want to do it anymore. It's like, oh, and then eventually I saved it for a while, and then eventually threw it away because I was just like, this is awful, and I'm not having a good time. All right, we got this piece done. Let's panel line our shoulder here, shall we? Shall we? Yes, we shall. Gray marker. Okay, so Randy Pitchford is in the process of buying the Magic Castle in Los Angeles, where there's a cool club, invite-only club, and magic performances, and an academy attached. The land has never been owned by the Magic Castle. He is purchasing the land from the owners. It hasn't gone through yet. He's in the process of doing that, with the plan to leave the current person who runs the Magic Castle in charge. Important things to note about this. I saw, of course he is going to make sure they can't kick him out. Yeah, so here's the thing. In the past couple of years, or fairly recently, there were accusations of a number of things. Poor work environment, particularly for women in the Magic Castle. And it is currently not being run by the same person that was running it a few years ago. So, in general, people are happy that Randy Pitchford is going to own the land instead of a developer or someone that has no interest in the Magic Castle being there. So he is in many ways to people like the best possible outcome, with the possible exception of, say, a Penn Jillette purchasing it. Another magician with a bunch of money. Yeah. It's not great. It's not a good look. I mean, at least I don't think it's a good look. To have the owner of the property be Randy Pitchford. Yeah, it's a whole fucking thing. And, of course, it's Randy. Yeah, Penn Jillette, his comment when asked for comment, or, when asked for comment, it was just like, oh, I'm glad. Maybe I won't have to wear a tie because I know Randy. And it's just like, yeah. It's very weird because a dude that we are not, there's a person out there that we are not friends, but I follow them because they make a webcomic I like, is a real, like, outspoken, like, real, like, strong, like, lefty that has been real quiet about his politics now that he is an employee, and also posted, like, a company, like, pictures for the company, like the company outing to Randy's house where he has his magic stage. And it was just like, I mean, I get it. I fucking get it. Like, sometimes you just got, look, the person I'm talking about has a family, and both he and his wife lost their jobs unexpectedly, like right at the same time. So it's like, yeah, man, you got to work. You didn't have to move. You didn't have to disrupt your life. You got a job. Do what you got to do. But it was that thing where I was just like, oh, you're gonna go to the boss's house, huh? Yikes. And to my friends that still work at Gearbox or still have positive memories at Gearbox, all I can say is, you fucking know. I'm not talking about you. But you know. You know. A podcast I listen to, the host of the podcast, it's an interview podcast, and I won't say which one. I know that he does not like Borderlands, but he was interviewing his friend who wrote jokes in the Tiny Tina game. And that's just got to be awkward because, like, both these people know this guy's proud of the work he does. The person running the podcast does not enjoy it, but they're friends and they're on a podcast and they're going to be civil about it. But they talked a lot about that game, and it was just like, oh, yeah. Sometimes you work on stuff and it's like, I hope it works out. I hope people like this thing. I hope the people that really like that game, but fucking no thanks. There are so, like, as a D&D nerd, there's still so many things. Like, Tiny Tina as a DM, I would definitely quit that. I would not be playing that campaign. I would not want. I've had a couple bad DMs in my day. But yeah, Tina, from what I've seen, she just doesn't like what's happening. And it's like, I don't want to be, nobody wants to be here, including me. When I hear Wright and Tiny Tina, I just think of Anthony Birch because he's a writer and he made that character, which I do not like, which is odd because I like Anthony Birch. Hey, here's the thing. As a minor character, Tiny Tina, like, hits all the boxes, right? Like, the thing is, I think we're supposed to like her. And I don't know if that's Anthony Birch's, like, thing, if that was his MO or not. But, like, that's not a character that I enjoy at all. So I don't know if I'm supposed to like Tiny Tina. But I certainly don't want to have Tiny Tina as a narrator of anything. Yeah, but I think in this game, you're supposed to like her. I think. I don't know. Also, hi, Jetson. Welcome. I think you're supposed to like her. And that's going to be real tough for me. I'm going to have a tough one with that. Because I don't. Ooh, I missed a piece. Oh, no. I missed a piece. I was like, this is weird. There should be more armor on this. And there should be more armor on this. I just didn't put a piece in there that I was supposed to. So that's fun. That's fun for me. Anyway, sometimes you gotta just do whatever. Like, I don't complain about the work that I do when it is frustrating. Sometimes I'll complain to y'all, but I'm definitely not tweeting about when I'm just, like, not interested in whatever is happening that I'm doing out there for any kind of job stuff, because I'm just happy to have work. So I totally understand keeping your head down. Because, like, look, I do tweet about bad interactions I've had with customers in customer service. Like, I definitely, like, put that out there, that, like, sometimes I'm just having a bad fucking time with customer service. But I don't get specific about it, and I never say the company that I do customer service for currently. Like, I'm not going to say that because I am a contract worker. I work weird shifts on occasion for them. I am not a part-time or full-time employee there, so I'm not giving them free promotion or even just reference them by name, because that's just not what I'm going to do. All right, so this goes there, and then there's a piece that I missed, C1, that I got to get out of here, and then we'll be done with this arm. We got a panel on this piece. We'll put that there. Anyway, I'm trying not to be as negative because I've been in a mood lately. I will say I'm very happy to report I'm not in any sort of depression at the moment, which is great. Uh, but I have been a little salty. And I think sometimes it's fine because of the fucking world we live in. It's totally okay to feel a little salty, but I'm trying not to be too salty about shit, because that can lead to feeling, just kind of rotten. Um, Again, as always, this is an escapism, but it also is entertainment. Hey, Ristovan, welcome. Happy to have you here. So, by saying that, basically, what I'm just trying to say is like, I've been trying to be positive about things where I can, um, uh, because I think that's just easier to live your life that way. But also, like as always, when things are weird and not going great, I think it's totally okay to be like, yeah, things aren't great. I think that's totally all right. Now that we're getting closer to PAX East, I'm transitioning to that. I am more. I'm getting that FOMO, that pre FOMO there, because I saw more than one person that I follow on Twitter being like, "All right, who am I seeing at PAX East?" Although I did love that one Eric Pope replied to one of those with just like, "Are you kidding? What?" Which I really liked. He was just like, "No, definitely not seeing me." But I am. I'm gonna miss it. I enjoy PAX. I enjoy the PAX East experience. I enjoy running panels and guesting on other people's panels. Which I'll say this: I don't do as much as I would like. Um, I think it's because I put on like panels that I have to really work hard on, and I'm very proud of those panels. But I do work very hard on them, so I think that's why I'm like, oh yeah, I don't do as much as I would like out there. I don't get out as much as I would prefer, um, because I am busy with my own. But yeah, I've been on some panels, just hanging out with friends. After seeing the scheduled exhibitors, FOMO's not as bad as I thought it would be so far. Yes, Harold. I mean, one good indication that things are not, this is not going to be the PAX East that we remember, is the fact that like the PAX, the official PAX account tweets like every day about PAX, and it's just like, oh, that is an indication that like they're working hard for a show that even when they went to 4 days, they didn't have to worry about. But yeah, I think a lot of people are skittish. Um, I think PAX West's like talent pool of performers and exhibitors is going to really depend on if people don't get sick at this one, because as far as I know, no one reported getting sick at Unplugged. It was masks, it was social distancing, there was a lot of cleaning going on. Um, uh, but obviously that this is going to be bigger than that. So I can't say for sure that everything's going to be great. I'm hopeful it is, but like I said, can't be sure. Um, but it will be interesting to see uh, if people like are cool about this shit. Um, yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I still have it because I've never missed a PAX East. Never ever. I've been to every single PAX East there ever was. It felt weird last year when I didn't go to PAX West. Um, but like I've also missed PAXs before. I've missed a West before. But I've never missed an East, and it's going to be very strange for there to be one without me. But like I said, that's just the way things are working out at the moment. I hope that the people I do know who are going there have a really good time, and I hope they are safe. And I hope to not see a bunch of selfies of people I know at restaurants with all their friends hanging on each other and smiling for the camera. I just want to see less of that because I saw too much of that during GDC. Too many photos that I was like, get out of there. Run. What are you doing? So we'll see. Um, we'll see what happens. It seems like if you don't want COVID, conventions are a bad idea. I mean, I mean, yes, totally. I do. I would say that. I would say that is fair. That is fair to say that um, avoiding that would be a great way to avoiding conventions would be a great way to protect yourself. Um, but also, you know, I think that there are ways to go to conventions and treat it, responsibly and treat COVID as as still a threat that exists. At least at least you still have a PAX to be able to miss. Yes, Last Rook. Look, I also don't think that they would have even before the idea that PAX South was done. I also don't think they would have done a PAX South this year. Uh, I just think that they're that show was already difficult for them to book as it is. I feel like that maybe they would have because Texas is going to Texas, but yeah. It just seems like there are just enough irresponsible people to make it a harder choice than it should be. I agree, Lord Crashton. Uh, yes, yes, Harold, you're not currently a threat. You could become a threat again. Uh, but yeah, there are a lot of people. Yeah, I know, totally, I agree. And I think that that is also reflective. Look, at the people that were working booths at PAX Unplugged, I bet a lot of them did want to wear masks, but that was the deal, right? There were people who were attending. I never saw. I only saw. Look, I will say I did see a lot of people who hung out at the food court area. There'd be people that seemed like they were camping out and playing games without masks, and they had a food item on their table because no one was giving anyone dirty looks in the food area if you were eating without a mask, right? But everywhere else, it was a lot of everybody was kind of looking out, and I think that was the vibe of the event. And because that became the vibe, then you were on the team of people who are wearing masks, and the people who are not interested in doing that are they're part of the bad team. So I think that is the whole thing, right? Um, I think that is just yeah, part of the experience, and part of the vibe. We're all in this together, and if it's a place where masks are optional, there are plenty of people that are just going to be well, I'm just going to go with the vibe and see how people do and see how people feel. And I don't like that. That's just me. I'm not a fan of that. Um, I don't know. Mayor of New York has COVID, and I don't feel bad about that because, well, he sucks as a person and as a mayor. But also, one of his big reasons why we should reopen everything is because New York didn't quite feel the same. And it's just all right, dude. Well, there you go. You got COVID. So congrats. I have now had COVID less than the mayor of New York. So that's fun. Um, I don't retweet or reply to. Uh, yes, the CDC reports data. Also, the CDC their recommendations right now are for hey, if it's been 5 days, you're okay. And then I had a friend who was just I still trip tests after 5 days. I'm not leaving my house. Um, but anyway, look, I don't begrudge. I'm not mad at anyone that got COVID, especially people that are working, that people that are trying to be responsible and still end up getting it, because right now we are getting hit hard with that. And I understand it. And I'm not here to judge people that have gotten COVID, but I am saying I have not retweeted or replied to anyone that's just hey, who do you know anyone that got boosted and got all their shots and hasn't had COVID? And it's yeah, me. I know me. I know myself. Um, they're irresponsible people, and that's a different story. But yeah, I could tell you there's I could introduce you to somebody that hasn't had COVID. It's your friend Pat, because that would be awful for my dad, who is immune compromised. It would be really bad if I got COVID. So I'm glad I don't have it, and I hope I never get it. It would be great if I didn't ever get COVID. But yeah, there's because they still don't like the long COVID stuff. It's still stuff we don't know, right? We still don't know what the long-term side effects are for people. We don't know that, like, obviously having our having the shots and having the boosters, now you get COVID, it's less of a severe thing, but there's still plenty of people who are not fully vaccinated or vaccinated at all, and we still don't know the long-term side effects of long COVID and how it can affect people. We just don't know because it hasn't been long enough to know. My job primarily has me around other people all the time, and I don't know how I didn't get COVID at some point, but I'm glad to be lucky. I'm also glad, Lord Crashington, like I said, people that are in a position where they can't, isolate themselves fully from people. Like I respect it and understand it. But it's tough. It is a tough thing. It's just if you have to interact with people. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have answers for these things. I just have worries for people. I don't know. Also, I also am a person who is of a obviously you know me, so you know that I'm a big teddy bear. But I do put off an aura. My walking around New York aura is generally fucking leave me alone. So I don't get stopped for things that, nobody asks me for directions in New York because I have the expression of someone who does not have time to help you. So I am not worried about when I visit New York this summer having a mask, on the subway and having dirty looks. I'm just I'll give you a dirty look back. I don't give a shit. It's no, I'm good. I'm not going to worry about it. Everything's going to be cool. We finished the arms, which is cool. As far as when I'm going up to New York, no set plans yet. This is going to happen. My thought is it's probably going to be end of July or beginning of August that I will be out there. So because I do need to have some time to make it so the tickets aren't that expensive, and then I can get an Airbnb early enough, time. I will probably stream while I'm up there. I will bring my laptop and I will bring a webcam and a second webcam and try to stream while I'm up there. Because why not? I'm going up there for I'm going to go to New York for two things. The most important one is I want to take meetings and go out for coffee and pick people's brains and talk to a few people about opportunities. And then the other thing is I want to go to my P.O. box. And not my P.O. box, sorry. My storage unit. I don't know why I said P.O. box. That was weird to me. Anyway, I want to go to my storage unit and I want to trade out items there. Trade out some clothes, get the League of Heels stuff out of there in case at some point I do a League of Heels thing. I want to have the belt. The belt is currently in the storage unit because I didn't want to bring it. I didn't know how long I'd be here, so I didn't want to bring it with me. So I'm going to get that. And then also, I want to see friends and see some people, that are important to me and have those kind of moments. I want to do that kind of stuff. But I'll have time, right? I can even go to comedy shows, but these are 2-hour streams. So, the place I stay, if I'm in an Airbnb, might not have good enough Wi-Fi to make it worth it. But at the very least, I want to try. So I have no definitive time frame on when exactly I will be in New York, but of course you'll know ahead of time. I did want to talk about the rest of this month. One thing I'm going to try. I've talked about this before, and I've just never pulled the trigger on it. there will probably be a couple streams this month where I have an audio guest. That is a thing that I have wanted to do for a while. I think the last time I had other people on was like my birthday stream and like 2 years ago. So it's been a while since I've had that plan. So yeah, so I do want to have some people like kind of jump in as guests on a stream, audio wise. It'll most likely just be like one person, and it will be audio only because it's just easier. It'll just be like a Discord call where they can jump in. So that's the plan right now. Again, no firm date on that, but it will probably be this month. That's just something that I've like wanted to do for a while, so I figure I'm going to do that. And it will be on it. It'll be something like a fun thing. Be like, oh, I got a fun guest while I build. They might be model kit builders. They might just be people that I like who are out there doing cool shit, and I want to hang out with them. But you know, also there'll be a lot of people who are just like friends of mine that I haven't talked to in a while, and this will be a nice way to catch up and talk to them about what's going on with them. And I'll have like questions or whatever, and it'll be a little interviewy, but it'll be mostly just like hanging out and shooting the shit because that sounds fun to me. That sounds like a thing that I want to do. So yeah, so that is something that please look forward to that in the future. I would like to do that in April because I think it would be a good time. I don't have really anything to say about this kit right now. I'm just kind of like putting it together. This is the kit from the year 2000, the GP01. It so far has been a pretty simple build. I messed up on the arms, but on Thursday. Right now it's been fine. It doesn't take paint marker as well as I would like. I feel like the lines here aren't as defined as I would like them, but it's still been good. Still been good to do. Of course, we'll panel line this. We'll get this with the brown marker in a bit. Kind of do all that. A little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue, a little bit of red on this kit. Not a whole lot. A lot of white on this one. I mean, more blue. Like in the chest. And, it's going to be cool. Does this match? Yeah. So our shield is color corrected, which I don't love, but, I get. But that blue does at least look pretty damn similar. So hopefully that'll still look good when I put those blue stickers on the shield. And I understand. I get it. This kit is from the year 2000. It is 22 years old, which is ridiculous to say. But yeah, it just appeared on Amazon, and I was like, oh, I don't think I've ever built this. I'm getting it. I do like to get old kits now and again. They're fun for me. Hey, let me ask y'all, is anybody out there doing any model kit building right now? Working on a Lego, working on any Gunpla, just working on, whatever. Putting together bookcases or woodworking. Like, let me know. What are y'all up to? And as always, you can post in the Discord because I like seeing that. Or you can just send me a tweet if you're just like, I don't want to be in the Discord. But like, yeah, this is what I'm working on. I do like to see photos of what people are doing. So feel free to let me know if you are working on anything. Chat has been a little chill tonight, and that is okay. I don't dislike that. I like when you're chatting and when you're hanging out, but I also understand if you're not feeling it. Let's see. While I wait to see if y'all are gonna have anything you want to say about building, I'm currently at 1,695 followers, which is a cool big number. I hope to see more of y'all, but that is a great big number. We're so close to 1,700 followers on here. Would love that to be even more. Let's see. I did a few small Easter spring bunny sets, and I'm doing a small Star Wars kit. Nice, Aristophan. That's fun. Yeah, I haven't done any Easter Lego or anything, but could definitely see myself doing something like that. Still waiting on the Horizon Lego set to come out. Here you, Lord Crashington. Lester says, hard to put stuff on hold because of hand injury. Oh, you had to. Oh, Lucretion says there's a 6 and a 9 in there. Nice. There is. 1,695 does have 69 in it. You are right. Sorry, last week said had to put stuff on hold because of my hand injury. Oh, that's right. Yep. But it's getting better. But I've mostly been trying to catch up on Apex. Hell yeah. I understand. I get that. Sometimes you just want to get caught up. Priorities. I got you. I understand it. I get it. It's good to have those priorities. All right. Before we put on the other parts of the ankle part here, it'll be way easier to panel line the bottom, or not the bottom, the lower parts of this foot. So we're gonna do a little panel lining now. We got our gray marker for the white there, and we got our brown marker for the red. So I get asked this on occasion, and so I'll answer it here. I don't build outside of streams because I do 6 hours of model kit building and Lego building a week. And that's a good amount of hours. Now, also, building for fun is something I certainly like to do, but it would be weird. I think it would be weird. I would say I probably would feel weird working on a model kit off stream. Like at this point now, I think it will be strange. When I was only doing it 2 hours a week or 4 hours a week, every once in a while I would build something just for me. And maybe I would get a kit that I've built on stream before, but I want it again and there was a good price. Maybe I could see myself doing that. But most likely, if it's not on stream, I'm not putting it together. Just because I get enough chance to do that. It's a different vibe putting stuff together for myself. There is a satisfaction in off stream, breaking down a Lego set, those 3-in-1s. I'll usually take them apart off stream, and there's something satisfying about that. But in general, I don't build outside of that. So I don't have any secret kits that I've been working on off stream or anything. I just do other stuff. Because like I said, I got, 6 hours or so every week of model kitting. Game stuff I still do. We should talk about this. So we will talk about this. Wednesday, I'm going to be playing Hearthstone. If that is a deal breaker for you, I totally understand and I get it. I have felt incredibly conflicted about this, but there is a new expansion coming out that I am excited about, and it's a game that I play every day, and so I want to share my excitement about that game with you, or with people that are interested in watching that. Once again, if that's a no-go, I understand. I am not here to tell you have to be here to watch it, but that's what I'm currently doing. All right, so we're gonna build one whole leg here now, and then we'll build the other leg so we can put 1 foot aside. But yeah, so Wednesday I'm going to Hearthstone because there's a new expansion coming out literally tomorrow. During the stream, we will talk about Activision Blizzard. We will chat about them. We will chat about current stuff going on there, the goings on. We will not live in a bubble as if it does not exist and it isn't happening. So we will be aware and acknowledging those things. But again, if you want to skip Wednesday's stream, I get it and I understand it. That's your call. Ristvan says, in other news, we had snow here this morning in Portland in April. Schools canceled the day, and at one point, one of the main highways in the city was shut down due to downed trees. God damn, Ristvan. You nailed it on the head. It's fucking April. You shouldn't have to be dealing with snow right now. That's bonkers. I'm sorry about that. Wow. All right, I got to put this little piece in here. And it doesn't want to go in easily. So, I'm going to try to... No, can't pop that out. Get in there. We had rain. Again, it's been a week with rain every day. We still have a few more to go. Wow. Yeah, it's... I'm sorry. It's lovely here. It's very nice. The temperature dropped a little bit, but it's still reasonable. It went from shorts weather to still short sleeve shirt, but pants weather, and it's fine. I did some yard work today. because we're getting into the heavy season of me having to do yard work, which I don't want to do. It was a lot of me working with the edging machine, which is just a thing like a motor or a plug-in. I guess they're gas powered, but this one is a plug-in. Just a heavy piece of machinery with a large, heavy blade that you just run along the edges of like concrete, like your driveway or a path, to like chop back the grass that keeps like growing onto the cement, so you get a nice line. Um, and I did that everywhere, but there was one spot I couldn't get at, so I have to go back and do it. It was a lot. There was a lot because it was the first one I've done this season. I mowed as well. Went up into the crawl space above the garage, and got out a bunch of pots for my dad, like planter pots, so that he can get some flowers and stuff and do all that. So I took all of them down because he wasn't sure which ones he wanted, so I had to do that. Laugh out loud. I saw Champa was trending, clicked on it, and the third tweet was yours. Oh, yeah. Unrelated to lawn stuff. You saw that because you follow me, I guess. Tommaso Ciampa, there was rumors that he was going to debut on Raw. He's performed on Raw before, but that he was going to be moving from NXT in WWE to Raw. And there have been some people that have debuted on SmackDown recently that had name changes. They love name changes. And so my tweet was like, if Tommaso Ciampa moves to Raw, what will they change his name to? One was they would keep him as Tommaso Ciampa. It's not his real last name. It's just his wrestling name. His first name is Tommaso. Or they would call him Ciampa, or they would call him Tommy Champ, which I hope they're not calling him Tommy Champ. I'm going to go look here and see. Well, Corey Graves and all that. Okay. NXT Ciampa is an official member of the... I love it. His Twitter handle is NXT Ciampa, and now he's on Raw. Okay. So he's on Raw. But they didn't say his name on the Raw tweet. So I still don't know if he is Tommaso Ciampa. Good night. I'll see you Thursday. But yeah, I ran a Twitter poll because I don't know if they would use that name. As I said, there are people on the WWE roster who wrestle under their actual name or the name they have on the indies because they like Drew. Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak wrestles as Drew Gulak on the indie scene. He signed to 205 Live as Drew Gulak. He got moved to the roster as Drew Gulak. So he gets to use that name still. They didn't catch him. But then, like, Walter, they called Gunther, even though he wrestled as Walter a lot. It's real bad. Viper on the indie scenes, they were like, you can't be Viper because she did the women's tournament. And they were like, you can't be Viper because Randy Orton he's the Viper. And they told her with no time. So her dad was just like, well, what about Piper? So she went as Piper Niven. And then they called her up they called her out of NXT UK, and then they called her Dewdrop. And her name is Dewdrop. So even the name they said was okay, they eventually were like, no. I keep thinking of Ciampa from Dragon Ball Super when you mention him. I hear you, Lord Crashington. I got you. Yeah, I thought for sure that they would not have to look. Also, just because he's there as Tommaso Ciampa doesn't mean that in a week's time he won't be Ciampa, because they also really love taking away people's names, like parts of their names. They love doing that, and they will do that anytime. Like, they will just drop it. Unless it is something that they think sells more shirts. in which case they will keep it. But they do love to just minimize a name, take away names like, oh, Antonio Cesaro. No, Cesaro. And you're like, what is that? Mustafa Ali. No. Ali. No, Mustafa Ali. Oh, Mustafa Ali? Maybe Ali again. No? Okay, we're going to go with that. That guy's had a bunch of name changes. They're going to change Chad Gable's name probably because Gable Steveson is going to wrestle under, has demanded to wrestle under his real name when he joins full-time and actually trains. He literally has said in interviews like, yeah, he's going to have, I like the guy, but he's going to have to change his name because there can't be two Gables. And I'm like, first off, there definitely can. Now, do you have weird things happening at AEW where there are, there's Brian Cage, Adam Page, and Adam Cole, and there's another Page, right? There's Ethan Page. There's Adam Page, Ethan Page, and Brian Cage, and also Christian Cage, and all. It's just like things got a little murky over there, because they're letting everyone use the names and not creating new names for them. But I still think that's better that there's a bunch of Adams than just taking someone's name that everybody knows them as and then being like, yeah, that's not your name anymore. Now you've got this weird name. Oh, you know the name we gave you in NXT? We're giving you a different name for no reason. Well, the boss didn't have any input in that name, so now you have to have a different one. It's just weird. It's just weird. I don't like it. I'm really hoping that Piper Niven gets to be Piper Niven again someday instead of Dewdrop, because it's just a terrible name and a nothing gimmick. Dewdrop isn't going to be women's champion. But Piper Niven could be women's champion. Oh, they changed Raquel Gonzalez to Raquel Rodriguez. That's just so arbitrary. I mean, it's alliteration. She's Raquel Rodriguez. That's cool. But like, why? Why change that name? Like, that just is nonsense. It's just like a waste of energy. Just making people get new gear, basically. In case they had their name on their gear. If I was in NXT, I would not have my name on my gear. I would have cool gear, cool ring gear, but it would never have my name or initials or anything, because the countdown to me having a name change would just be so, like, sometimes they don't tell you. They're just like, oh yeah, we made that call. Oh no one told you? Okay, yeah, this is your in-ring name now. Like, yeah, you wouldn't have any time to like adjust it. Do you think their trademark lawyers love it or hate it? I mean, they definitely don't get enough notice. They also clearly have bad trademark lawyers because they only look for trademarks. They don't look for famousness or anything like that. Because most recent example is that Gunther, they gave him a last name, and literally the name of that character they came up with was a Nazi. They didn't Google the name at all or look it up on Wikipedia or anything. They just announced the name of a character, and then they were like, well, they announced a trademark. They filed a trademark, and then people were like, what? And they were like, oh, it's just Gunther. Oh, he's just Gunther. So I would say I think their trademark lawyers are bad. But you get what you pay for. Also, a few years ago, there was a trio of ladies, and they had a name for their group that was also the name of a series of porn. And if you thought about it for a moment, like, even if you didn't know that was a porn, you'd be like, that sounds like a porn. It was like Submission Sisters or something. I can't remember, but it was very short-lived. It was basically like, this is the name of the team, the group. And then people were like, and then they were like, oh, it's these three girls. And you're like, yeah. It was something, it was one of those things where you're like, yeah, the submission, come on. This definitely doesn't sound right. Oh, it was fun. It was humorous at the time. So, I would say, yeah, that they're not great at their jobs. At the very least, they're only focusing on the trademark aspect and not the, um, is this something you can Google? What are the what are the Google results for this name? Are there any? Can we get the SEO of this name? I don't think they think like that. Is this the name of a war criminal? Like that stuff should be, a thing they think about. Uh, I guess Austin Creed is just posting WWE clips with the theme song for No Holds Barred playing over them right now. Okay. I mean, sure. I appreciate the that a roll up, a schoolboy roll up that he's been using off and on for a while. He's now claiming like they're now naming it like the Backwoods. I love that. I love that a face character, like one of his finishing moves, is now just a roll up because that is so fucking funny. I mean, but it's an underdog getting a sneaky win because they didn't see it coming. I think that is very funny for his character. Also, does that hint at a possible heel turn? I think they gotta look. If the New Day is gonna do a heel turn, they've gotta do it now before Big E comes back. If Big E comes back, because if and when he comes back, they're baby faces again. So if they want to do a heel turn and a heel run, they got to do it now. And this might be a step in that direction. But yeah, they got to do something. And I love the idea of them being heels, and then them turning faces because Big E came back. Him just being like, "Come on," and they're like, "Yeah, you're right. We're good guys again." I don't know. Because they'll sell so much goddamn merch when he comes back. Though some new colorways and new looks. It'll be great. Let's see. Also, I think at this point, Austin Creed is so busy. Xavier Woods is just such a busy man that he's probably just like, yeah, sure, I'm just going to do this. I'll just have my team upload this. That's cool. We're going to go here. We're going to do that. We'll see what's up. He's just like living his best life, giving away awards on Nickelodeon, Choice Awards, and hosting stuff, and being on G4, and just living his best goddamn life. Having a good time, wrestling. It's like, didn't have a great match at WrestleMania, got bumped for time, and probably the only reason it actually ended up airing it, they had their match at all, is because the internet made such a big deal about how fucking rad and cool their gear was to honor their friend who got hurt in the goddamn ring. The beloved friend, so then they're like, oh, fine, we'll find a match for it, but it'll be like 5-minute match. You fucking so shitty. Whatever. Look, I don't think they can come up with a worse name for Tommaso Ciampa, just to wrap this up, than Butch. Yeah. Because there's a WWE superstar is named Butch in the year 2022. And it's a dude named Butch. It's like, okay. Look, is Pete Dunne the best wrestling name of all time? No. But it's still better than Butch. God damn it. So bad. He's such a goddamn good wrestler too. Ugh. Disappointing. What about just Champ? Yeah, Dirty, I had suggested that Tommaso Ciampa be, what his possible new names could be, Tommy Champ. But I also think that Champ is fine. I also think Tommaso Ciampa is like a weird name, but a good one. If this was the 90s, would there be, what would be the name of a new woman wrestler? Yeah, Lord Crashington. If this was the 90s, Butch would be the name of a women's wrestler who they and they would do bad innuendo of this striking, strong woman being interested in women, but like straight women, and it being like that would be an angle in like late '90s WWE. They went a different way with a woman who was certainly butch in that she liked attractive men and they were not interested in her. So that also could be a thing that Butch did. Butch could also be a woman who was attracted to like good-looking wrestlers who were like, ugh, get out of here. Tony Ciampa. Yes, dirty. Look, if Tommaso Ciampa's new ring name was Tony Ciampa or Tony Ciampa, I would love it. I would love it if they somehow did a accidental One Piece reference, because it would be accidental, because somebody would approve it who didn't understand the reference, because there's no way. There's no fucking way. This is a fun thing to say out loud. There's no way in hell that Vince McMahon knows what One Piece is. There's just no possible way that he has any. There's no way in hell. There's no chance in hell that Vince McMahon has ever heard about One Piece. Yes. There's just no way. There's just no way. Because even if his grandkids, because Shane's got some kids and Stephanie's got kids, even if they're into anime, which is hard to imagine a McMahon being in anime, but even if one of them was, I don't for a second believe he spends any time with his grandkids. So he wouldn't learn by osmosis. Like, he's not asking his kids, like, so, like, what does Brooks do? Like, he's a skeleton, but he has a sword that does ice stuff? Why? Why does he do... Why is that? Like, he's never asked about Zoro. He's never asked about Brooks. Imagine him knowing and saying, I like the Zoro guy, book him for a match. Yeah. There's just no way. There's just no way. Like, there's no way that he ever gets any of the references that people do with their costumes when they're out, like Final Fantasy, no idea. Dragon Ball, no idea. They're Mortal Kombat things, no idea. When the Lucha House Party did the Red Ranger and the Green Ranger, no, there's no way. Or no, sorry, the White Ranger and the Red Ranger. There's no way that he was like, oh, Power Rangers, got it. There's just no way. It is funnier to imagine a world where Vince McMahon is just like, I don't know about this Gear 5th. It seems a little silly. Like, it's the idea that he would be aware of like what's happening in the manga at this very moment, and he's not like an anime only. He's like, no, he's got the Shonen Jump app. And he waits for the official translation. He doesn't do scanlations because the turnover is so fast. What are you talking about? No. No, he subscribes to Shonen Jump so he can read the old ones again. It's very funny to imagine that he's really into One Piece, but I think it's... Yeah, all right. Well, that's what I'm going to tweet about after this stream. Hey, see my tweets later when I talk about what we talked about here, where I imagine a world where Vince McMahon knows about One Piece. Okay. Him having hot anime takes would be great. I'd love to hear him have a Gundam take where he's only into G Gundam. Yeah, he likes G Gundam. He thought the Turn A, he wanted to love Turn A, but there's just no way. It just wasn't going to work for him. And he it's like Iron Blooded Orphans, like he every couple of years he tries to watch through it, but it's just not clicking with him. But he knows it's good. He just knows it's not. He's just not into it. And he likes the new Gundam that's coming out, but he feels it's pretty derivative. Like the actual new mobile suit that's coming out, like feels like it's a mismatched bunch of stuff. And oh, don't get him started on G-Reco, because like he's one of those people about G-Reco. Like he'll talk your ear off about it. Yes, that is very funny that he would have like nuanced takes of that. Anyway, enough about Vince McMahon, who's a monster. Let's talk about me, your friend Pat Baer. We're going to do a pause for the calls, then we're going to talk about some manga and some anime while I keep working on this kit and finishing segments up. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe emote in the chat. We'll go fast here through all this. But yeah, if you're a subscriber, throw those emotes in there. Also, hi, Tony. I didn't even say hi, Tony. Welcome. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here. We're currently at 45 out of 50 subscribers. I would love to get to the big 5-0. And if you're not currently subscribing, you could do that with Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. You could also gift a sub into the community. We've had 5 from Arctic Sloth and 1 from Erstfan and 1 from Dirty, which is great. Thank you very much for your continued support, friends. Bits and coins also always appreciated. But yeah, gifting a sub is a way to help out people in the community so they get cool emotes. They don't see ads. It's a nice thing. You don't have to do that, but if you wanted to, you could. Another way to support what I do is to join my Patreon. I just had a new $1 patron the other day, which is really nice. I'm so close to my goal there of $150, my first of many goals. But we're close to 150. I think we're at 139 right now, which is great. We're getting there. So if you want to take a look at that page, find out more about that, the different tiers, the different rewards for the different tiers and all that. I have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/PatBaer. If you're not already subscribed, you're missing out on cool videos that I make. So go to youtube.com/PatBaer, find out about that, hit the subscribe button. And if you wanted to support me there and you want to see my Wednesday videos on Tuesday, you go over there. You get my videos a day early. The Wednesday videos I put up, members get that on Tuesday. So you'll see Wednesday video tomorrow. So it's a great time to do that. youtube.com/PatBaer. Direct donations are also appreciated. So through Coffee or PayPal, you could directly send me money if you wanted to. If a monthly subscription is not something you're interested in, but a one-time would be cool, you could do that. And everything I make through direct donations through YouTube and Patreon and Twitch all goes into a fund, and I use that money to buy model kits. You helped me buy this kit from the year 2000, which is rad of you. Thank you very much for your support. I appreciate it. Tony, I don't have any... Patreon doesn't have, like, things that link in, which is great, but thank you for your support on Patreon. I appreciate that. I just got an email that you did that, and thank you very much for that. It's very kind of you. Welcome to the Patreon. You'll get a message pretty soon of my schedule for the second half of April, because that's the thing I do. So this week I'll send that out. Other things. Also I have an Amazon wish list because I have a backlog of kits. But if you wanted to help me, no worries, just got one and been signing up. Well, thank you very much, Tony. Appreciate that. If you want to help me decide what I build next, you could buy something off my Amazon wish list, and then I'll shoot a video about the thing you just bought, and I'll also have it jump the queue. So I won't work on the Lego or the model kits I have in my backlog. I will instead work on the thing that you picked out. I've got inexpensive Lego sets, some inexpensive model kits, some expensive model kits, all kinds of different things. A car from Initial D that I would have to use liquid cement to assemble. Some very expensive kits that are like, why is the Gundam Raphael $40? It's a high grade, but it's got a weird backpack, so I guess that's why. Right now the Zeta is only $36. Great. Or 37, I should say. The Zeta MK2. That's a good price for that. And then I have some gear at the bottom of the list because it's nice to have some options for that. And yeah, like I said, I'll shoot a video. I have an alternative to Amazon if that's something, you're looking for that alternative. You can go with Throne. I have a wish list on Throne. It's less stuff, but they really take care of people's privacy on Throne. I really appreciate the service while they're trying to protect creators and not have have their names attached to things and the state or the city they live in. That's cool. And so I respect that. And so I have a few things up on there. I have to update it more. I will get in there because they're getting new partnerships all the time. And then USA Gundam Store is another option if you want to support me. The last way to support me financially is to buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store. They'll send you a code in your email, and then you can send me a DM on Twitter or a whisper here on Twitch with that code, and then I will use it. You can be like, hey, pick up something from, and you can like name a series, and I'll see if there's something that I can buy from that, or a specific thing, or just be like, pre-order this thing. Like, you could definitely do that. Those are things you could do. A way to support me for free. We're going to get back to building in just a moment, but I just got to go through this real quick. Way to support me for free is to go to my Discord. I got a Discord, jump in there. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. I encourage you to do that more, friends, if you're working on anything. And then also people just chat about like nerdy stuff, anime stuff related to the streams. It is a pretty chill Discord, but you're welcome to be there. We welcome you. All right, a couple video links. I just put up a brand new Pat Bear's Anime Club today. It is me talking about High Dive. It is not a sponsored video. This is of my own choosing. I wanted to do a look at the service. We look at the website. I talk about like the pros and cons of it. The weirdness of there being like a chat room for every stream, and why would you want that? You could do like viewing parties, I guess, where you could send a link out to your friends. It just feels very strange. I guess with stuff that just came out, like the moment came out, you'd want to chat with people, but I don't understand. But they got chat rooms for associated. You could toggle between yellow and white subtitle like color, and that's a really fun thing. Also, while I was making the video for Pat Bear's Anime Club, I discovered they have an OVA of an anime, and I haven't seen the OVA for Place to Place or Achikochi. They have the OVA, and I've never seen it, and I'm gonna watch that. That's just like a neat thing. I was just like, oh, awesome, because I was talking about like some of their exclusives, and that's one of the things they had. And then Do You Remembaer? There'll be a new one up on Wednesday, but this is the previous Do You Remembaer, where I talk about Jason McElwain and for Autism Acceptance Month. I talk about his very cool story where he went viral for being, in a very short period of time, incredibly good at basketball. And it's a real feel-good story. It's legitimately awesome. And then this Wednesday, I'm going to tease the one that's coming up this Wednesday. I'm talking about something really silly. A piece of architecture that is very silly will be this Wednesday. And you can see that if you're a $5 or $10 patron on Patreon, you can see that tomorrow. Or a $2 YouTube member, you can see that tomorrow. All right. We're going to talk about some manga and then some anime. You know what? We'll switch that. We'll start with manga. We'll start with the manga because it'll be shorter. Then we'll do the anime because there's only 2 shows I need to talk about for the anime. So we'll start with some manga, and then we'll do anime. And I'm going to transition back there and drink a little bit of my beverage dramatically. All right, we're back to the screen. It is time to talk about some manga while I continue to work on this leg. We need C3 and then A5. Okay, so we're going to talk about Go South. Nice. We're going to talk about 2 manga. And here's the thing that's fun. They both have very long names. Well, yes, they both have pretty damn long names, one longer than the other. Both of these are action-adventure series. Neither of these are isekai. Neither of them are isekai. How weird is that? That's the thing I talk a lot about on this channel, are isekai, and neither of these are. The first one is the sole monster tamer in the world. I was mistaken as the Demon King when I changed my job. So I don't know why. I just I read the first few chapters of this a long time ago and then never got back into it. And then I kind of checked in again and then just read through everything that's available. So our dude, he's the hero. he's been able to hide it from everyone what his job was, and also, in fact, like he was like the second son, and like he said, "Oh, I'm just a villager." He probably should have picked something else, but he basically picked something where like no one would mess with him. So like he can kind of do whatever he wants, but he knew that eventually people would find out that he is the hero, and he does not want to be the hero. He does not want to defeat the demon lord, because if there is a hero, then there'll be a demon lord. He doesn't want to deal with all that. He doesn't want to deal with the responsibility. But he's heard tale of the divine tome. If he finds the divine tome, he can change his job class, and he can be a villager or something else he's interested in doing. He's got a lot of strength and speed and skill anyway, but he's just like, all right, this will be fine. I'm just going to go do this. Turns out other people wanted that book. There's a lot of like people he's running into that he's seen before. A lot of weirdness going on with that. But he gets the tome, and he's looking at the page for hero when the book gets ripped by his the maid that is like helping him out. And he accidentally becomes a monster tamer, which is another job which is basically, it seems like there is no job class for demon lord. It's just a monster tamer is a demon lord, because if you have the monster tamer, then you tame monsters and you have an army of monsters. And you know what people don't like, especially people who are religious fanatics, like there are a lot of religious fanatics in this story. They definitely don't like the idea of a dude who can command an army of monsters. They fucking hate that shit. So he's basically considered the demon lord. He's a good dude, though. His associates who are monsters are all really fun. Some of them are silly. Some of them are like shy and nice. Good group of weirdos. Also, the conditions are that he doesn't kill someone, but he almost does. He almost kills a thing. Then he can charm them, and they become monsters. And we find out in the story, eventually he accidentally does that to two humans and turns them. He turns one into a zombie, or an undead, and he turns another one into basically the guy who powers involve metal. So now he's just like a homunculus of metal, but they do look humanoid. And yeah, the very funny thing is the first time he did it, he was very surprised. The second time he did it, it was an accident. He did not mean to kill that guy. And there's a bunch of fun monsters. There's like ones that are nice and polite. There's ones that are like there's a goblin that wants to be a knight. He's very chivalrous, and I think he fucking rules. Yeah, there's some good characterization going on there. Also, the thing that is not as enjoyable about this manga is there's a lot of stories going on. Eventually, we're going to meet the hero, because the hero got named because, of course, there's a demon lord now, so there's got to be a hero. There's, like, the evil church, the evil empire. There's, like, 4 factions, and some of those factions intertwine, and, like, people end up changing allegiances and helping each other. And it's, like, not great. It's not as fun. Basically, it's very ambitious, and I appreciate that it's ambitious. I'm not looking for ambitious. I'm looking for the, like, oh, I changed my job. I'm a monster tamer. Nobody knows what that is. Now I have cool monster friends. Not that, like, well, I was going to just protect, my friends here and protect, like, the town that I live in, but now I'm going to have to go kill an emperor and wage a holy war and all this other stuff, and it's just like a lot of stuff going on, and it moves pretty fast. So I got mixed feelings on the sole monster tamer in the world. I was mistaken as the bad dropped frames there. Ooh, we still have a bad connection. I'm stalling to see if we come back. It looks like connection has improved. My apologies, friends. So yeah, I'm a little mixed feelings on the sole monster tamer in the world. I was mistaken as a demon king when I changed my job. I think it's good. It's just like, it's not exactly what I want from a particular show. Uh, I think the art is nice. Oh, also he does have a relationship with a dragon that didn't have a name, and he did name that dragon Pappy, and that dragon does not enjoy his name, and that is funny to me. That dragon is just like not pleased to be called Pappy. Um, all right, let's see what else. The other manga I want to chat with you about is A Boy Raised by Gods Will Be the Strongest. You might remember the anime that we talked about, the Faraway Paladin. That was last year. That was a show that, like, the first 6 or 7 episodes I thought were fantastic, and then it became like your run of the mill reincarnation isekai. In that story, there was a main character named Will, and he was raised by 3 dead, like undead people who were like the strongest mage, the strongest swordsman, and the strongest like healer in the world, but they were now dead, and they were living in this place, and he was isolated from everyone, and he was raised by them, and then eventually he set off on a journey, and that's the Faraway Paladin, and it's like thoughtful and all that. This story is that, but take away the part about being reincarnated. In this one, a young boy who's also named Will was abandoned and was picked up by, they're called gods. They're called living gods. They're probably just strong humans, but they are the pinnacle of that. So the sword god, the mage god, or the god of wisdom, and then the healing goddess, and then a dude that clearly is a god. It's a guy who shapeshifts all the time. So this dude has 3 dads and a mom. So he's raised by them, and then he goes off on a journey. It takes a long time before we get to that journey, which I think is fine. The other difference for this is that a young lady shows up because she's had an oracle saying, like, that, you know, he's not the hero, but this dude is going to save the world. You got to go hang out with this dude. So we already got a young lady who's nice, hanging out, being a healer and showing them the way of the world. And then they like meet the sword hero, and he's got a lot of stuff going on that I don't want to get into. And we're basically in the first story where, like, you know that cliche thing in action series, both isekai and also reincarnation and also just action thing, where like a young lady is in a stagecoach whatever, a carriage, and is being either attacked or kidnapped, and then the hero is just there and decides the hero is going to help out. Yeah, that happens in this story. Right now, we are almost done concluding that saga. It's very cliche. Like, she's young and impressionable, and immediately meets Will, and he saved her life, and so she's like, "Yeah, well, you know, I'm going to introduce you to my dad, and you know, see if you want to become my husband." There's a sacred sword, and I do like that the sword is just like, yeah, you could probably understand me, but you're not the person that should be lifting me out of the ground. And he was like, oh, all right. It's like, yeah, you're not a hero. You seem really strong, but you're like, and I can feel a touch of gods on you, but like, don't. This isn't for you. And so, and our guy's like, oh, all right. But he does try to pull the sword out, and he breaks the like a huge chunk of rock out of this giant rock that the sword is pressed in, and the sword's just like, wow, can't say that's ever happened before. Weird. He's like, you almost cheated your way in. And I thought that was pretty fucking funny. The sword is just like, oh, yeah, okay. I mean, good try. So yeah, that is A Boy Raised by Gods Will Be the Strongest. It's pretty great so far. I'm waiting to see it open up a little bit more and get into like what's going on with his world. He's going to run into other like heroes because like he's met the sword hero, but as I said, that person has some stuff going on. But maybe they're going to party together. What does all this mean? You know, again, is the church going to be corrupt because they sent her out on a pilgrimage like alone, and that feels weird and strange that they would do that. That's always like one of those things you're like, did you really want to find this guy? What's going on with this? I don't know, but yeah, it seems all right as far as a manga goes. I recommend it. I would say of the two, I recommend A Boy Raised by the Gods will be the strongest. I recommend that one if you were going to read one of them. If you're going to go seek these out and try to read one, that would be the one that I recommend. All right, now we're going to talk about some anime. I got 2 shows to talk about. I got an episode 2 of one show and episode 1 of another. The first show that we'll be talking about is Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie. That show is a Saturday show, but I have so many things to talk about on Fridays and Saturdays, I decided to hold off, and now I'll talk about this on Mondays. Oh, god damn it, folks. This show is fucking cute as hell. Our main guy has a problem. Sometimes he doesn't think his girlfriend is cute because he's too busy thinking his girlfriend is badass and fucking cool as hell, because she is. And I'm hoping we're going to discover the episode ends with a sign, like a neon sign, falling and almost landing on him, and she spin kicks it away. And he's like, "Are you okay?" And she says, "Yes." And it's just like, hey, how come she spin kicked that? What's up? So I don't know if we're going to get into why she's like such a badass, but this is the cutest thing to be worried about, is just like, oh, my girlfriend's real cute and we're together, but like sometimes she's just like a complete and utter badass. And it's not that he's like mad about it. It's just he's just like thinks that she fucking rules, because our main dude is accident prone or has bad luck. I can't quite tell, because like he trips a lot, and like an eraser like falls out of someone's hands and bounces off a shoe and flies at him. And then she tries to stop it, and then it lands on her head. And it's just like, yeah, what's going on with this dude? Yes, says Ghost Val. Yeah, I mean, like, he's got bad luck going on. But I don't know if this show has curses, if he's cursed, or he just has bad luck. But whatever. He's clumsy and has bad luck, and she saves the day. And it's awesome. It's really great. And there's a lot of, like, what you would maybe consider more masculine traits of like of dashing traits of like her being like, helping you makes me happy or something like that. Like, I'm just like, I want to keep you safe. Like, just like cool badass moments. She bowls a perfect game. The group, the friend group, including this couple, go to the bowling alley. She's only bowled a couple times, and her friends are like, or, her lady friends are like, like, guys like it when you're weak, you should, and he's terrible. He somehow has the ball going right down, and both times, like every time they curve, he ends the game with a score of 20. So he's the worst, and she bowls a perfect game. But he also thinks that fucking rules, and I like that. I like this, like, weak, boringish guy who loves his badass girlfriend. Also, the fact that they're together. It's not a will they, won't they. It's a they already. At the beginning of this thing, they are dating. They're starting their, like, second year of school, and they are together. All right, I got to put a sticker. Our first sticker, folks. We're doing our first sticker, which is not numbered in a way that is easily identifiable for me. So give me a moment here to match these. It's this one. Yeah. All right. So it's fun. Also, the minor characters. Instead of the Fang Girl, and some people might know what a Fang Girl is, we have a Fang Boy. That is a kind of the, like, like energetic, kind of like maybe a little like too over the top energy, but like sometimes just like has a smile where you just see like one fang tooth. I love that that's like the friend, because I was just like, oh, I hope he doesn't have a shitty friend. No, he has a cool friend that likes him and likes spending time with him. And she's got 2 friends as well. She's got the like tough girl that, of course, the 2 friends, they'll probably get together, but right now I don't think they're not. And then there's also like the short, like not precocious, but like the one that like tells it like it is, and like is a little. She says adieu at the end when they say goodbye. Like I think she's like trying to figure out what kind of weirdo she is. I love the supporting characters. I think they're neat. The vibe is really fun. Yeah, it's just got a good vibe to it, and I don't know. It's just sweet. It just feels like a sweet show. Personally, I enjoy how wholesome the manga is. I'll probably give it a watch at some point soon. Yeah, this was a wholesome episode of an anime of just like this badass girl and her like nice like boyfriend that she's always going to be looking out for and saving from trouble. It's just got really wholesome, cute vibes, and I'm really into it. And it's a good pairing where like Aharon-san is also like a lot of cute vibes with the characters and like some wholesome like stuff of friendship and like people finding each other. And this one is just also has that where like, yeah, I was like, oh, it's gonna suck if like his friend is mean or if like one of the girls hates him and doesn't want the two of them to date. But everyone's just like, yeah, we're hanging out, we're doing it up, we're going for it. I don't know. I'm excited about it. It is already like a highlight of the season. It only had one episode, so I'm looking forward to more of that. So I definitely recommend Shikimori Not Just a Cutie. It's a good one. And then we got episode 2 of Trapped in a Dating Sim: The World of Otome Games is Tough for Mobs, which I never read this manga. I probably read it after because I don't because the anime will probably go past it, but like what's going on in there, because I think it's basically based on a light novel that there's the manga adaptation, which is coming out slower than the anime. First one was setting up the character of the world. If you missed me talking about it last week, the short of it is this dude beat a dating game for his sister, got blackmailed into doing it. Then he woke up and he is a minor character in that world. He's not like a main character. He's not one of the princes. It is a world where it is seems to be lady dominated. His big goal is he's now been made a baron. So based on what happened in the first episode, so he needs to go to the academy, the school where we're starting here. He needs to go to school and he needs to meet a wealthy to-do lady because the title he has doesn't fit the island that the floating island he lives on. He knows it's a game world. He knows the plot, so he meets the main characters. And his big thing is, I want to avoid as much as possible the prince, his dudes who are like the main romance characters. He wants to avoid those characters, and he really wants to avoid the girl who is the main character, the protagonist. He's like, I want to avoid the protagonist at all costs. I want to avoid the love rival that is like all these things. I want to make sure that I don't get involved in any of this. I'm just looking for love, or he's looking for someone to marry of a certain station so that he can live a relaxed life. We also find out that he has a sister, which we didn't know in the first episode, who is older and I think has been there for a while in the game. He has a sister in real life and he has a sister in the game. So here's the big thing that happens in this. We get to see him be pretty badass. He ends up making friends with the protagonist, and he's like worried about that because like she's a commoner that studies magic and is being bullied for being commoner, and he's like, I don't want to get involved with any of this stuff. I'm a mob character. I'm a background character. I just want to kind of chill and not be around anything. But a weird thing's happening that we found out in this episode of Trapped in a Dating Sim. It kind of feels like the protagonist isn't the protagonist. There's another girl who is hanging out with and like we don't know anything about it, and like literally our dude does not recognize her and does not know what her deal is, but she's basically kind of got the story going. She's like the new main character, and that doesn't make any sense. Sorry, I gotta sneeze. Pardon me. So look, I don't know this. I haven't read the manga. I haven't read the light novel. I'm just guessing. My assumption is his real life sister from Japan is this girl, or it is another person who is also from Japan, who is changing the rules of the game with her knowledge of the game. It would make more sense if it was his sister, and so he's now like gotta have the friend of his be the lead or whatever. That would also make sense, but my gut feeling is telling me that this is his sister, like pulling shenanigans, and he's gonna have to deal with that, changing up the game. But also this show has mechs in it. We haven't really seen any of the mechs. We've seen some robot stuff, like he's got a robot like associate, but we really haven't seen the mechs. But I do want to watch a show with mechs, so I'm going to keep watching this one. It's not my favorite, Trapped in a Dating Sim. I like the main guy. I'm interested to see like what other cheats. Like he knew where this dungeon was. He knew where this like technology was, the ship, all that stuff. Like he understands how the game works, and he's going to use that to his advantage. But it will be interesting to see. Like it looks like next episode is going to involve a duel, and so we'll have him take stage and see why he's going to do that. So yeah, I'm interested. I do want to find out who this girl is and why the story has changed, and because I don't think we're going to find out like why they're in this game or anything, but it'll be interesting to see what's going on. Or it could be that his sister is playing the game. Like she wasn't isekai. She's playing the game with this new character as like a new game plus. So she's like changing the story. Like I could see that being a possibility. I'm not sure, but that's intriguing to me. Also, I do want to see the mech stuff because it will be great if I could enjoy a mech series at some point. Because right now it's been a little while since I had some mecha. I'm looking forward to the new Gundam coming out, but that's not for a ways. So that's the anime that I have been watching. We got some time left in the stream, so if you've been watching any TV, any movies, anything, you can play any games, let me know in the chat. Let me hear it in the chat if you've been checking out anything, because I always like to hear from y'all about what you're playing or watching or anything like that. We talked a little bit about what y'all have been up to lately, but I like to hear about those things. Game-wise, played a little bit on Sunday afternoon of Halo. Not much, but I played a little bit on Sunday. I was happy to play some games with some friends. The crew it's difficult to get everybody together, but that was a good time. John says watching Gundam Thunderbolt and playing Gundam Evolution. Nice. Yeah. Also, hi, I'm John. I'm not. I mean, eventually I might try Gundam Evolution, but it's not really my thing. Like the thing it's based on isn't really, or like that style of game, the Overwatch kind of style of game, isn't really the thing that I'm super into. If I had a bunch of friends who wanted to play, like if my Halo friends were like, let's all get into that, like I would give it a shot, but it's just not kind of my style. But also I don't play a lot of shooters, so that's kind of it. I usually like pick a shooter. Are there other things that I'm playing? I mean, Hearthstone, like tomorrow is a big Hearthstone day because I'm going to be playing a lot of Hearthstone. I'm going to be opening a lot of packs tomorrow and then playing a lot of Hearthstone tomorrow because we've got the new expansion coming out. So there'll be a new meta and new decks, and I'm looking forward to that. So my weekly quests this week, I didn't do any of them because I'm waiting to get the new compendium and then, or not the new compendium, but just new stuff, new cards, build some new decks, try to win some games with some stuff, try to augment some stuff that I already got. I think I'm going to try to do a mech, uh, maybe a mech mage. There is a somewhat, there's like an OTK priest deck that I'm going to definitely craft. It's a terrible deck, but I'm definitely going to craft it because it's the one I'm most interested in running. Mech Mage, I like the idea of there's a colossal shaman deck that seems pretty good. There's an agony deck that I don't know if I want to check out. Agony cards are like a warlock thing where you put a card that does fatigue damage, and then you have to spend mana to play that card to get rid of it. But you can put enough in someone's hand that they'll then do enough fatigue damage that they'll just like lose. And I think a lot of people are going to play that deck because that deck seems to be not a meme deck. Whereas the priest deck, where you get a one cost 20/20 with charge, that seems to be a meme deck. But I'm still going to play it. Playing Black Desert Online, says Dirty. I watched EEAO and gave it 2 thumbs up. Yeah, I haven't seen that. I do want to see it. Because that does seem like something that'll be right up my alley and is getting rave reviews and touching reviews. So I would like to check that out, but I have not seen that yet. Like I said, I'm catching up on anime. I've been watching a lot of anime this season. There's a lot of good stuff. Look, are there things that I'm probably going to drop? Of course there are. I don't know. I got to give them at least a couple. I mean, sometimes I just say, nope, this isn't for me. But like, I want to watch more this week of RPG Real Estate and Demon Recipe for Happiness. See if I'm going to keep either of those. We'll see. Or Mishayuki and the Little Baby Ghost. Like that one I could see myself dropping. I don't know. Thought I would finish Elden Ring, says Ghost Valve, but got stuck on a tough boss, probably the tough boss, and will move to Switch games that came out recently. I hear you. Well, I hope you can eventually come back and one-shot that thing. It completely rockets world because suddenly you know exactly what you're doing and you just weren't thinking of it at the time, and now you can kick that thing's ass. Lashbrook says, ended up hooking up my Mister last night and finally got arcade cores working. Ended up playing all the way through Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. Lashbrook, I love that. I love that was the game that you were like, this is the arcade game for me to play right now. That's very funny. That's awesome. I'm glad you got that working on your Mister. You missed it. I'm glad that's working out. That sounds very fun. Dirty says, part I had issue was with there are all 9 people in the theater and there was an a-hole who chose to reserve the seat right next to mine. Yeah, Dirty, that definitely fucking sucks. If there's not many people in the like, spread out. Even if they reserve that seat, it's like, what the fuck? There's nobody here. Why would you sit next to somebody? Why would you want to sit next to somebody? Like, get out of there. That sucks. I am sorry that happened. Because that is shit behavior right there. I've been playing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I feel the humor hits better for me than other Borderlands games. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Did you find the Weller Man reference? Because there's a Weller Man reference in that game. The meme that lasted like 2 months in the year 2020 ended up in that video game. It kept staying in there and no one said, well, we don't need to have this like sea shanty reference in this game, right? And they're like, no, keep that sea shanty reference in the game. That wasn't surprising, but it was just like, oh. Been playing a bit of Fortnite. Got a new emote for the song I Like to Move It, and that is dumb fun. Lord Crashington, that does sound like very dumb fun. I hope you're having a great time with that. Let's see. I'll make sure I get the right line of piece here. I think that's right. This should be right. Okay. Nowadays, it's like the guy who stands next to you in the line of empty urinals. Yes. Very much so. It's like, come on. I have no idea what that meme is. Oh, a wrist fan. Sorry. There was a sea shanty meme in the early 2020s, like right when the right when we had our when everyone was going home, um, where there was a guy singing like an actual sea shanty, uh, and then other people joined in, and the chorus is "Soon may the Wellerman come." It was a meme, and I'm not surprised that there's a reference to it in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, but also I don't think there should be. But like I said, I am not surprised that there is. All right, so that's attached, right? That looks right. Yeah, that looks right. Okay. The original humor and the voice acting is better than any of the pop references. Oh yeah, I mean when they're just like sticking to their characters and the world they created, that's the part where I don't dislike the world of Borderlands. But when it's like all just weird pop culture nonsense and like attempts to make their own memes, I'm like, I don't know about that. Response, oh yeah, I remember the sea shanty stuff. Yeah, so there's a sea shanty reference somewhere in that game apparently, and I was I was not surprised, but I was like, oh, that they would include one of those. Nickelback did a sea shanty version of one of their songs, and people like that better than anything else they have done. Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, like, look, people got involved in the meme. I think like it was an okay meme for the time. And like people were like doing like other versions that were fun, and there was one that was like there was a like a I don't know, I don't want to describe Vines, but there were a lot of like fun versions and parodies of it, and then all just like cool versions as well. It was a good time. It was just started by a dude that liked sea shanties and wanted to do it on TikTok, which is fun. That he was just like, I like sea shanties, so I'm going to try to do it and see if other people will join in. And we'll build like a whole music thing. It'll be fun. All right. I'm going to complete like the 2 parts I need to put on here. And then I'll panel line this either off stream or when the stream starts on Thursday, because the next build stream will be on Thursday. And you're like, Pat, is that the next stream you're doing? No. The next stream I'm doing is a Hearthstone stream this Wednesday. So this Wednesday I will be playing Hearthstone. We will be... Lord Cratchit wants me at the ska button. Sure, you got it. I'll talk about that while we play some ska. So yeah, Hearthstone. This coming Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. The usual time, the usual stream time. Come watch me play some new decks. Were they ska shanties? There probably were. I imagine there were. Yeah, come watch me work on some Hearthstone decks, some new decks, trying out some new meta. I'll keep an eye on some of the new stuff because there's been theory crafting, and I have an idea of a couple things I want to try. And then also I'll show you some of the odd decks I've been playing since the last time I streamed Hearthstone, because it's been a while since I did that. And I've been playing some weird stuff. So check that out. Because yeah, I got a couple decks that I think are pretty fun. And it'll be a good time. That's this Wednesday. I hope you'll come hang out with me for that. We are now going to go raid. That is how we end every stream. It's with the raid. We go see somebody who's doing something cool out there. Try to go hang out with them and support them. So let's mute that there. And then let's see. We always end with the raid. Yes, indeed, John. We haven't raided Mary Kish in a hot minute. Mary's a good raid on a Monday evening. Mary is playing. Okay. She says Mary Mondays with Weird West, but then the game that she has in description is Chinatown Detective Agency. So we'll find out here. My assumption is she might have like switched to this game, or something was going on weird with Weird West. Anyway, she's playing Chinatown Detective Agency. And we're going to go raid her. Oh, she switched games. Okay, well, thank you, Lord Crash. So she switched games, which is fine. We're going to go give her a raid because Mary absolutely rules. So feel free to come along on this raid. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Mary is awesome. This looks like a cool game, and she's really a fun person. I'll see you on Wednesday. So thanks so much for being here. Have a great evening. Goodbye, everybody. Oh, what happened here? Goodbye, 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 goodbye.